That's a lot of people. Look at that. That's incredible. I hope the fake news media is turning their cameras way, way back there. That's incredible. Hello, Omaha. And I have to also say, because a lot of people are here from Iowa. Hello, Iowa. Okay, wait a minute. Who's from Iowa? Raise, go. Who's from Omaha? You know what? We're going to be in Iowa soon. We'll do that one separately. Huh? That's a big difference. 7 days from now, we're going to win Nebraska. And we're going to win 4 more years in the great White House, that beautiful, beautiful White House. Look at this. I can't believe this. 29,000 people. Can you believe it? 29,000. You know, we have to win both Nebraskas. You know that, right? You have 2, you cut. We're going to win both. This election is a choice between the Trump super recovery, which is what we're having, or a Biden depression. Sad to say. And some bad news just came out on Biden, but I won't tell you about that. You'll find that out tomorrow. So look at you. Man, that's something. Biden has pledged the biggest tax hike in the history of our country. First man that I've ever seen campaign on the fact, I'm going to raise your taxes. What's going on? I gave working families record-setting tax cuts, and in my second term, I will cut middle-class taxes very substantially more. And by the way, a lot of things are going on. You're seeing those poll numbers are going through the roof. I hate to tell. Where is the fake news? It's over there. Oh, that's a lot of camera. No, it's going up. They're very concerned. They're very, very concerned. All over. Florida's looking great. Now, Nebraska, we know it's looking great, okay? I mean, in theory, I didn't really have to be here, but it's nice to be with your friends, too. With your vote, we will continue to bring back our jobs, support our police, defend our Second Amendment, which is under siege, secure our borders, maintain American energy independence, expand school choice, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with the phrase, that beautiful phrase, made in the USA, right? I will deliver record prosperity, epic job growth, and a safe vaccine that eradicates the virus and quickly ends the pandemic. And we're making that final turn. They don't want to hear it. We're making that turn. You know that, right? We're going to have the vaccine anyway, with or without it. We're making the turn. Normal life will fully resume. That's all we want. We want normal life. Normal life. Go back 7 months. We'll take normal life. Greatest economy we ever had. We want normal life. And next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. That's where we're heading. Super V. Joe Biden doesn't even respect you enough to campaign. He never came here, right? Did he come here? Oh, all right. So that's the end of that. I'll see you guys. Moments ago, we learned about the other reason Joe Biden has been hiding in his basement. In a national television interview, do you want me to tell you the rest? The Biden family's business partner revealed shocking, disturbing, and explosive information about Joe Biden's corrupt and illicit foreign business dealings while he was vice president. The business partner made clear that Biden's denial of involvement in his son's corrupt business dealings was a blatant lie with proof. He stated with firsthand knowledge that Vice President Biden was directly and personally involved in establishing corrupt business dealings with China and getting money for it. This all happened at the same time as Biden was letting China steal American jobs and plunder American wealth. You saw that for 8 years. If Biden wins, China wins, and China will own the USA. If Biden wins, he will do bad things. By the way, he's not a good guy, just so you understand. Is there any place you would rather be than a Trump rally on about a 10-degree evening? 10 degrees. It's cold out here, but that's okay. You know, we just left Wisconsin. It was cold. And we left Michigan. It was cold and raining. And I said, I won't put on a hat because I'm going to show you how tough we are. That was a tough one. It was pouring. It was pouring and it was freezing. And it's the coldest right here. I hate to tell you. Well, it's a little later. It's an honor to be with you, I have to say. When we win, you win, Nebraska wins, and all of America wins. And that's the way we want it. Joe Biden spent the last 47 years, think of it, 47 years, outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless, foreign, ridiculous wars. Countries you've never even heard of. In 2016, Nebraska voted to fire this corrupt political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who finally put America first. And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. If I don't always play by the rules of the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fought harder for you than any president who's ever held this wonderful, beautiful office. That I can tell you. This election is a matter of economic survival for Omaha and for communities all across our country. Joe Biden's agenda, and I'm not sure it's really Biden's agenda, let's face it. It's not his agenda. It sounds nice, Biden's agenda. The guy's shot. He's shot. He's so gonzo. You saw him yesterday. It took him away. I was in Pennsylvania with these tremendous, crowds like this and tremendous rallies, and he had the lid on, right? You know, the lid, like from a garbage can. They call it the lid. And they saw what was happening because I went to 3 of them. I did 3 of them yesterday in Pennsylvania. So he went from Delaware to the closest point where Pennsylvania hits Delaware, which was about 5 minutes away from his basement. And he made a speech. Just before that, he called me George. He said, George, I think he was talking about George Bush. And his wife was sitting next to him, and you could see she was not happy. But it's hard to correct him. You know, the camera's on. But he called me George, and then he did the little speech, and it wasn't good. They sort of just moved him out. They took him away. His own people brushed him off. They took him off stage. This is not what you can have. You know, we have the greatest country in the world. We have more potential than any country in the world. We can't play games. We can't play games. So the Democrats, let's say the Democrats, the radical left Democrats, they have an extreme agenda. He's just a vehicle. He'll be there for about 4 weeks or so, and then you'll have Kamala. That will not be the first woman president. You're going to have a woman president, maybe soon, but you're not going to have Kamala. Can't be Kamala. She's further left by far than crazy Bernie. You know, Bernie is like a conservative compared to her. But Biden's extreme agenda includes a radical vision to destroy suburbs across our nation. How are your suburbs doing? Don't ask. Are they good? They won't be good for long if they get it. and to completely dismantle law enforcement and cripple police departments nationwide. You know what's going on. You see it better than anybody. You don't have to take my word for it. Biden's plan to destroy suburbs and police. Just take a look. Roll the tape. We do this for you on this freezing cold night.
The suburbs today are not the suburbs of half a century ago. The suburbs are far more diverse than the cities, but they're being targeted. Being targeted for what? Federalized, centralized government control by the left.
Democrats want to abolish the suburbs. They are too clean and nice, and therefore, by definition, they are racist. The Biden campaign has highly specific plans on how to do this. It's called Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing. It's a HUD regulation. It was written during the Obama administration. Biden's advisors plan to enforce it. Towns will be ordered to abolish zoning for single-family housing because single-family homes, needless to say, are racist. Low-income, federally subsidized apartments will go up in the suburbs.
We'll also build 1.5 million new energy-efficient homes and public housing units.
Thankfully, Trump repealed this rule back in July. But now the left is backing an even more radical plan. It was a bill put forward by Senator Cory Booker to push low-income housing developments into the suburbs. This would be a federal takeover of local zoning laws, in essence. And Biden, he fully supports it.
The prior administration piled up more than 600 major new regulations, a cruel and punishing regulatory burden that cost the average American an additional $2,300 per year. Think of that. The average American, $2,300 regulation, hitting low-income Americans by far the hardest. Our historic regulatory relief is providing the average American household an extra $3,100 every single year.
I've had the luxury of enjoying the benefit of the tax cuts. The tax cuts allowed me to grow my businesses.
I believe that if you take into account the Trump tax cut, you take into account the drop in unemployment, and particularly unemployment for African Americans, the lowest it's ever been in history.
How's the economy right now? We're loving it.
Kennedy credits the Trump tax cuts and deregulation for her company's growth.
It's the first time in 10 years that it's booming again.
The tax cuts that were imposed did wonders for the middle class.
I will cut taxes even further for hardworking moms and dads. I will not raise taxes. I will cut them.
First thing I do is going to repeal this Trump tax cut.
Do you believe there is systemic racism in law enforcement?
Absolutely.
I've been a police officer for nearly 32 years. Joe Biden does not have the backs of police officers.
Joe Biden's staffers, they gave money to a fund to help bail out accused criminals.
Joe Biden's silence is encouraging the rioters.
Kamala Harris was working to help the instigators, the criminals, get out of jail.
If Joe Biden's elected, it's just going to continue.
Everyone be aware, because they're not going to stop.
The only person who has defended the police is Trump. I have had overwhelming support from police my whole career up until this year.
We can reduce the responsibilities assigned to the police and redirect some of the funding for police. We agree that we can redirect some of the funding.
Yes, absolutely.
In Joe Biden's America, we'll all be in danger. If you support the police and you want to be safe in your home and you want your children safe, support Donald Trump.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, that's pretty effective. You know what that costs to bring to you tonight? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Pretty effective, right? You see it. It saves me a lot of words. I can sit here, watch. I say, see? Nah, he's not the right guy. He's not the right guy. He's not right for this country. He's not the guy for this country. This election is a choice between the American dream, which is what we want, and a socialist nightmare, which is where you would head if you ever did that, which I don't believe you'll do. It's a choice between a Trump boom and a Biden lockdown. He wants to lock it all down. We close it up. We understand the disease. It's a terrible thing. Should never have been allowed to come here from China. Should never have been allowed. Joe Biden will delay the vaccine, postpone therapies, prolong the pandemic, shutter your schools, right? Shutter your schools, destroy your small businesses, and shut down our country. We're not doing that. Look, we are setting records, 11.4 million people. It's all opened up. We understand it, and we are doing a job. We are literally setting records on employment. Look at housing. Look at automobile production. Look at how you're doing in Nebraska. Look at how you're doing in Nebraska. Biden even wants to lock down young and healthy Americans, yet for those under the age of 50, I hate to say this, you're under the age of 50. How many are under the age of 50? Pretty young. Well, I have good news for you. 99.99. Okay, you know what that means? That means you're in good shape. That's what that means. But you notice the fake news now, right? All they talk about is COVID, 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 and we've made such progress. It's incredible. Excuse me, I'm here. I'm here. Right? I mean, I wasn't exactly feeling great. It's been a long time. I wasn't exactly feeling great. And I met with great doctors. One thing, when you're president, you got plenty of doctors. We have one of them here tonight, I think, right? We have our great White House doctors traveling. Sean, he's become very famous. Where's Sean? He's become, oh, is that Sean? Look at Sean. Look at him. Wow. You know, he's got a big ego. He loves it when I mention his name. No, he's a great doctor, and they were great doctors from Johns Hopkins and from Walter Reed and everything else. And what we know today is like so different than what we knew 6 months ago. Incredible. The progress they've made, and with the vaccines, which are coming immediately, even without, we're turning that corner. You know, at some point, we're turning that corner, and it's been pretty amazing. Florida had a rough time. Boom, it's back. It's all the way down. Texas, all the way down. Arizona, great governors, all the way down. Biden's cruel and senseless lockdowns would cause countless deaths from suicide, drug overdose, and delayed medical care, alcohol. I mean, so many different problems. Remember, I'd say the cure cannot be worse than the problem itself. That's what you have. When I banned travel from China, remember he says, oh, we should have done it sooner, except when I banned it for 2.5 months, he said, he shouldn't do that. He's xenophobic, right? And now he says, oh, I should have done it earlier. And he had a thing called the swine flu. It was a disaster, much less lethal. It was a disaster. He was a disaster. He's still a disaster, actually. If we listened to Joe, countless more people would have died. They were anticipating it could be 2.2 million. You don't hear that, 2.2 million. And you know the number. It's still, one is too many as far as I'm concerned. One is too many. It shouldn't have happened. One is too many. But it could have been 2.2. It could have been more than that. Biden was willing to sacrifice your lives on the altar of open borders. He wants open borders. Without borders, you don't have a country. By the way, the wall is now over 400 miles long. And we're building 10 miles a week, and it's very soon going to be finished. So we have the strongest southern border we've ever had. And we want people to come into our country, but they have to come in legally, and they have to come in through merit. Merit. Biden has no plan, no idea, no clue. He has no clue, that's for sure. And he just wants to lock up and throw away the keys, letting rioters and looters run wild. And you know, it's interesting. They call them peaceful protesters. They burn down your cities. They do things that nobody's seen before, all in radical left, Democrat-run cities and states, but cities, all of them. And every time we go in, we were going to go into Seattle. We let them know we're coming in. The night before we came in, they gave up. They left. They took over a piece of Seattle. That wasn't going to last. Minneapolis, the same thing. We went into Minneapolis. We went in. You know, we have to be asked in theory by the state. We went into Minneapolis, and it all ended. It took about, what do you think, 25 minutes or so. It was just boom, right down the street. Now, you know, the Republican-run cities are doing very well. The Republican-run cities. And I hope you agree, because I know he's here, but you have a very good Republican governor. You do know that, right? Whoa. Listen to that. Good. Good. Hi, Pete. Good. Pete, I'm glad they did that. You know, I want to do that. Otherwise, I just wouldn't introduce you later. You know, keep it quiet. They like you, Pete. The Biden plan will crush you and crush your family. My plan will crush the virus, and you will see economic benefits like we've never seen in our country before. That's where we're headed. When the China plague arrived, we moved heaven and earth to fight the disease. We airlifted medical supplies, pioneered groundbreaking therapies, reduced the fatality rate 85%. Think of that. And saved over 2 million lives. Our excess mortality rate has been 42% less than Europe. You hear about Europe, 42% less, much better than Europe. I'm working to make the breakthrough treatment that I received. I did. I had this thing called Regeneron. I don't know. I'd like to say it had nothing to do. I'd like to say my immune system is just like Barron Trump. You know, First Lady had it. I had it. Barron had it. They said, sir, Barron has tested positive. Like 12 minutes later, I said, how's Barron doing? Oh, he's okay now, sir. He threw it away. He just took that, threw it away, you know. They're young and they have strong immune systems, but I'd like to say the treatment didn't do anything for me. Doctor, do you hear that? Didn't do. I just threw it away like Barron. But you know what? I wasn't going to take my chance. I said, you have something, give it to me. And it was effective because I woke up the next morning after being with these doctors. They wanted to touch every single part of your body, and I didn't like it. 12 of them. Each one was a specialist, right? Every single one, but they were great. No, they were great. But I woke up the next morning, and I'll tell you, I felt like, get me out of here. It was amazing. So I really think this thing was great. It's great. I think it was great. And, you know, I don't have the luxury of staying in a basement. I'm president of the United States. I don't. I can't be staying. I really can't. You can't stay. I had a lot of meetings. I meet a lot of people. As president, I have that obligation. So we have basements in the White House. I could stay. We have beautiful bedrooms upstairs at the White House. I could stay for a year and a half. I can't do that. I have to be working for you. And if something happens, it happens. And I get, you know, they came in, they said, sir, you've tested positive. I said, tested positive for what? Then you go into one of the 27 different names. Corona, this China virus, the China plague. The China plague. That's what I tested positive for. But it was amazing. And it was actually an experience. And until I came along, you were supposed to have lifetime immunity, right? I said, well, you know, I'm recovered. I feel great. And I'm immune. I could jump right into this road. I could kiss every man and woman. Every man and woman. But because it was me, the press said, no, it's not for a lifetime. It's only for 4 months. The immunity is only now for 4 months. They brought it down, right? It was always going to be for a lifetime. Now it's 4 months. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's one of those things. But I guarantee you this. On November 4th, you won't be hearing as much about this. It's going to be, right now, it's COVID, 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 no matter what happens. COVID, COVID. And on November 4th, you'll probably try and find some information about it. No, we're rounding the term. We're rounding that beautiful turn, and it's going to be very good. The vaccines are going to make it go away a lot faster, and they're going to be great. The greatest companies of their kind in the world are doing it. Really good. Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, they really are great. Pfizer. Thanks to our relentless efforts, 97% of all current emergency room visits are for something other than the virus. Think of that, 97%. We're in great shape. And in the one areas of Midwest, the little areas in the Midwest, certain areas that are heated up right now, they'll go down. They'll go down very quickly. They'll be down within 2 weeks, they're figuring. They'll go down, just like they did in Florida, Texas, Arizona, and so many others. We're on track to deliver 100 million doses of a safe vaccine and a great vaccine, and that's all set. We're all set logistically. Our military is going to deliver it. It'll be done very quickly. We will vanquish the vaccine, and we will get rid of this whole thing. We will get rid of this virus. It'll be you watch. It's going to happen very quickly, and we're going to have our country back, and the whole world is going to be coming back. This was a terrible, terrible thing that happened. Terrible thing that happened. Terrible thing that happened. Joe Biden has made a corrupt bargain in exchange for his party's nomination. He has handed control of his party over to the rage-filled socialists, Marxists, and left-wing extremists. And could we put another name in there? Starts with a C. Communists. Yes. No, we got a couple of them too, unfortunately. If Biden wins, the flag-burning extremists on the streets will be running your government. It's not going to happen. By the way, just so you know, we are so far. You listen to the fakers back there. Look at them. You listen to the fake news. We are so far ahead. This is going to be bigger than 4 years ago. By the way, get out and vote. You got to. That's the only thing. I mean, I'm standing here freezing. I ask you one little favor. Get the hell out and vote. The great red wave. At least you're down there with each other. I'm all up here and that wind is blowing. This election day, you must stop the anti-American radicals. And really, I mean, that's what they are. They're radicals. We can solve these problems so quickly if the governments would just say, would you please come in, federal government? We stop it in a matter of minutes. It goes so fast. The radicals delivering Joe Biden, you have to do this. You have to deliver them a message, the far left, a thundering defeat at the ballot box on November 3rd. It's got to be a big one. We got to win big, and we're going to win big. You know, I'm watching them, and they're getting, like 3 weeks ago, I don't know, they were doing these fake polls, and they felt very good, and then a week ago, they were feeling okay. They're not feeling so good right now. They're saying these are not good numbers. Was that one of the greatest evenings ever 4 years ago? And you know the difference is, and I say this is easier, there's more. Look at this crowd. I mean, we had big crowds. We never had crowds like this. Look at this crowd. 29,000. You have 29,000 people in Omaha. That's pretty good. And you're all on television. Say hello. You're on national television. See all the red lights? That means the cameras are going. That means those cameras are going. 29,000 people, they say. 29,000. Yeah. You know who spoke today? President Barack Hussein Obama. He had 12 people and 7 cars. Did you hear them? No, he draws flies. I've never seen. He had no people. I thought he'd have some people. And he brought Bon Jovi along. You know what happened to Bon Jovi? They increased the crowd by 22 people. Can you believe it? And then Joe spoke, and that crowd left. And we have 29,000 people here, and we had a tremendous crowd in Michigan, had a tremendous crowd in Wisconsin. And they're trying to figure out, like, if Trump is getting these crowds and if Biden's getting like 12 people, you know the circles. He fills in the circles. They got like 5 of them. And a lot of times they put reporters in there because they have no people. But today he tried to blame that on COVID also. He said, no, we don't seek large crowds because of the virus, right? They don't want the large crowd. That's not the reason, okay? That's not the reason. It's a hell of an excuse, but it's not the reason. We're thrilled to be joined by the man we were just talking about. He's a friend of mine. He loves his state. He loves his country. And he's a great governor, Pete Ricketts. Pete, great job. Great job. What a good guy. What a good man. How's your state doing, Pete? All right, good. How are we doing? By the way, we're going to be okay here, right? He says good. Good. Thank you very much, Pete. And his brother Todd, another one, really good. Now, there's only two people that are better, Joe and Marlene. Now, Todd is great, but they will both admit Joe and Marlene are better, right? And you're here. Hi, Joe. I like the hat. Hi, Joe. You got to be proud of your boys. They're doing a great job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great family. Here as well are Senators Deb Fischer, who's fantastic. She is my favorite senator from the state of Nebraska. By far. By far. She's fantastic. She is, I'll tell you what, she calls me. It doesn't stop. Between her and Joni Ernst from Iowa, who I think is here. Where's Joni? Joni. They call. Sir, we need help with ethanol. Sir, we need help with corn. It's always, but you know what? That's what a great senator, that's what a great representative is supposed to do, right? Joni, thank you very much. And I heard you're doing very well. I just saw some very nice numbers. And Deb, you don't have to worry about numbers, right? You don't have to worry about numbers. I'm with you all the time. Thank you both. And yeah, it looks very good in Iowa. Thank you very much. Good. And representatives, Jeff Fortenberry, a warrior. Where's Jeff? Thank you, Jeff. Great guy. Don Bacon. Whoa. What's this? Wow. Well, I like him too, but I don't know if I like him that much. That's very good. I'll tell you, you better get me Omaha. Do you understand that? Now I know. I wouldn't have asked him, but now I'm going to say, make sure we win this side too, right? Good. How we doing, Don? I hear good, huh? Good. I'm very impressed. That's about as good as I've heard in a long time. And Adrian Smith. Adrian, great job. Great to have you here. It's a great group of people, and these are warriors. They fought with me a lot. They fought with me. We keep winning over there, but it's not easy, right? But it gets easier and easier all the time. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. For decades, our politicians spent trillions and trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting foreign wars, and defending foreign borders. But now we are finally protecting our nation, rebuilding our cities, and we are bringing our jobs, our factories, and our troops back home to the USA. Our troops are coming home. Thank you. No, our troops are coming back home. It's enough. 19 years in Afghanistan, and we have it worked, and they're coming home, and it's a great thing. And they're home from Syria. They're home. I left some because we kept the oil, if you don't mind. There was some oil. We captured it. We kept it. And coming home from Iraq, it's enough. It's enough. We want to have them all home. We have a lot of other countries, too. We're in many, many, many countries, most of which you never even heard of, right? You never even heard of. It's ridiculous. I ended and by the way, making our military stronger by far than ever before. I ended the NAFTA nightmare and proudly signed the brand new USMCA, which is turning out to be phenomenal. It's a great deal. It's a great deal, just kicked in now. And you know what? Companies will not be leaving Nebraska and Iowa and all of our places. There's a very big disincentive for them to do that. When China targeted our farmers, I delivered $28 billion to our incredible farmers here in Nebraska and Iowa and all across the country. Don't forget to tell the people of Iowa that, please. $28 billion. I said to Secretary Sonny Perdue of Agriculture, you know, Sonny is great. I said, Sonny, how much were the farmers targeted? And he said, 12 billion, sir, and 16 billion, 2 years, 12 and 16. I said 28, good. So I tariffed 28 billion, took it from China and distributed it to our farmers. Nobody else is going to do that. In fact, some people say our farmers do better now than they did when they actually had a farm. But we did. We had the biggest order of corn 2 weeks ago in the history of our country, the biggest order of soybeans, and the biggest beef order, right? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Joe Biden's running mate, the most liberal member of the U.S. Senate, you know who that is, right? Sponsors the insane Green New Deal. $100 trillion. You too can have no windows in your buildings, which would wipe out the ethanol industry, Joni. It would totally wipe out that industry. We worked hard on that industry, and they're now in good shape. Devastating Nebraska and devastating Iowa. As president, I will always defend ethanol, okay? All right? Does Nebraska like ethanol too, by the way? Okay, good. I need that little assurance. I need that little bit of assurance. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure border in U.S. history, our southern border, largely because of the wall. My opponent's insane immigration plan would completely eliminate U.S. borders. Open borders they want to have. Let's have open borders so everyone can just pour in like they used to. He would make every community into a sanctuary city for violent criminals. So we invested $2.5 trillion, a lot of it right here from this state and from Joni, from Iowa, $2.5 trillion. New equipment. Our military is in the best shape it's ever been in. We have the greatest equipment anywhere in the world. We are the envy of every other country, Russia, China, North Korea. We have the best missiles and rockets and tanks and planes and fighter jets, F-35s, submarines, and our nuclear weapons are now renovated and or new and fixed, and we only hope to God we never have to use them. Hope to God. Our military was very much in bad shape. It was depleted. It was exhausted. It was ridiculous. We killed the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. They were looking for him for a long time. And we took out the world's top terrorist. Soleimani is dead. I withdrew from the last administration's disastrous and ridiculous Iran nuclear deal, $150 billion. We paid for nothing, and $1.8 billion in cash. I'm more impressed with that. What do you think, Pop? I think I'm more impressed. 150 billion or 1.8 billion in cash. I think I'm more impressed with the cash. You ever hear everything like that? That's what we gave to Iran for nothing. We got nothing. I recognized the true capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. And I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Think of that. They worked on that for 52 years. I got it done in 2 hours. And instead of never-ending wars in the Middle East, you see what's happening. Already 3 countries, and we have 5 lined up, and we're going to have another. It's an easy one. It's a lot easier than you would think. They worked on this for 35 years. They had the wrong people. They had the wrong concepts. But, I got nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. Can you believe it? And for all different regions. Like Kosovo and Serbia, we're doing deals, trade deals. Just normally we're doing trade deals. I said, wait a minute, aren't they always fighting each other? Yeah. Aren't they always killing each other? Yeah. For many decades, sir, how did you know? I said, I know. They're killing you. They fight each other all the time. Tell them we're not going to do any business with them. They want our business, right? And we're not going to do any business unless we make a deal where they stop killing each other. And you know what? It took about 20 minutes. They've been fighting for 40 years. I think they've been fighting for 400 years. You want to know the truth? But they've been fighting for a long time. They want to make a deal. All of a sudden, 2 months ago, they're in the Oval Office, hugging the 2 prime ministers, hugging and kissing and thinking, great. That was easy, Joe, right? That was easy. It just makes sense. I just said, hey, why don't we get them together? I mean, we're going to do these 2 deals. Tell them to stop fighting, and we save a lot of lives. That's a good thing. But we're forging peace in the Middle East without blood all over the sand, and we're not spending money. You're doing it either. It's something very nice. So we're pulling out. A vote for Republicans is a vote for the American dream. It's a vote for acknowledgement that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Is that nice? People don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. So in conclusion, over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China, and that's already begun, largely already begun. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. We will defend religious liberty, free speech, the right to life, and the right to keep and bear arms. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. And that's what we have now with what we have. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency that's bigger than healthcare. You watch, already signed, kicks in on January 1st. Lower drug prices even more. We signed favored nations. That means we're going to get the lowest price anywhere in the world. Right now, we're by far the highest. And we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. And NASA is the #1 space center anywhere in the world again. It was a mess 3.5 years ago. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our school. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years, you had a president who apologized to America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Nebraska and Iowa. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, and get your coworkers, get your boss, and say, "Boss, get out of here, boss. Get out and vote. You got to vote. The red wave is coming, the great red wave." Now we're doing very well. Those early ballots, the whole ballot hoax, you see what's going on. There's so many bad things happening, but we're doing very well. We're supposed to be a little behind, and then we're a little bit above, right? But that wave comes, and now we go to the front of everything. I think we're going to win everything. We didn't come this far and fight this hard to surrender our country back to the corrupt Washington swamp. So on November 3rd, we must finish the job that we started. We have done a job like nobody. There has been no administration, nobody, and it's us all together. There has been no administration has done in the first 3.5 years what this administration has done. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. From Norfolk to Hastings, from Grand Island to Lincoln, and from Scotts Bluff to right here in Omaha, we inherit the legacy of Nebraska patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears for this beloved nation. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the ocean, settled a continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up the great skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America the single greatest nation in the history of the world, and the best is yet to come. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Nebraska and Iowa, we have made America powerful again. We have made America wealthy again. We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again. We have made America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Nebraska. Thank you, Iowa. Thank you both. Thank you. Get out and vote.
you.